Hi everyone, my name is Patrice Lynn and I am the author of Rise to Success. And I want to share with you how I met my mentor, Dr. Joe Dispenza, in only 4 days by using my Rise to Success daily journal. It only took me 4 days, people. You have to stick around to find out how that happened. All right, I was in Sedona, Arizona, one of the most fantastic places on the planet. I wrote most of my book in Sedona, Arizona. And while I was there, I heard that Dr. Joe Dispenza was going to be speaking at the Illuminate Film Festival. It was the grand showing of a film that he starred in called Heal. And as soon as I found out, I went on the website to find out what events were going on. And I was like, oh, it's already sold out, his like private, smaller event, but you could still go to the bigger event. Well, I made up my mind right then and there that a few things were going to happen. Number one, I was going to get into that sold out event. Number two, I was going to meet Joe Dispenza in person and get a photo with him. And number three, I was going to be able to ask him a question from the audience and just have a conversation with him. These are all things that I wanted to manifest. Now, here you can see, here I am with Dr. Joe Dispenza. So aren't you curious how this happened? Well, it was one of the most exciting things in my life to meet Dr. Joe Dispenza. I loved meeting him. He is just every bit as amazing in person as you could imagine him to be if you listen to him on YouTube or see him or hear him anywhere. So what I did is I only had 4 days to make all of these goals and dreams come true. Well, fortunately, I had written a book and I was here. Let me show you my Rise to Success. Rise stands for repetition, images, sound, and emotion. Well, I had developed this daily journaling process where you would write down your goals, and repetition is the key to imprinting it into your brain. You would do a visualization, and just like Joe Dispenza teaches, you would bring it alive in your mind. You would think and imagine what you wanted, but then you have to make the emotion, the feeling, as if it was already happening. So I started imagining all these things I wanted to have happen. I started creating it in the quantum realm, and I started sending that energy vibration out there that I would accomplish all of these things with Dr. Joe Dispenza. Then sound is for declarations, truth-focused statements. I started declaring out loud, I will meet Joe Dispenza. I will get my picture taken with. I will get into his sold-out event and learn from him live. And then emotion is I just let my emotions and my gratitude run wild. I wanted to imagine and feel what it would feel like to be with him and have all these great experiences. Well, Sedona is a wonderful place to have all of these experiences. So it was only fitting that I would meet him there in Sedona. So what I started doing is every day I had a certain little mountain that I would climb up every day, and I would do my journaling process either at the top of the mountain or before I went. I would write down all the goals that I shared with you to meet him in person, get my picture taken with him, ask him a question, get into his sold out event, all of those things. I kept writing it down. I kept visualizing it was going to happen. Oh, it was just so rich, sensually rich. You have to make it come alive. And that's what I did. I made it come alive. And guess what happened? 4 days later, here I was with Joe Dispenza. Now, there's some fun details, and a couple of those are that the event was the smaller event, which held 100, was totally sold out. Well, I had to wait in line because there were people that had bought tickets, and they said, well, some of them might not come. So I waited in line to see if I could get one of the tickets that would come available at the last second. Well, the funny thing was I found out that you had to pay cash, and I didn't have any cash. I never do. So these people behind me, they said, oh, we'll give you the cash, because I told them all about my goal, how I'd been visualizing it all. And you guys, these are the things that happen when you're so clear about what you want. People will start helping you to get it when you tell them. It's the power of synergy and synchronicity and quantum entanglement, where we're all one, we're all entangled. So it was my turn to step up to the window, and they said, you're getting a ticket. I'm like, yes. So I got my borrowed money to pay for my ticket to the sold out event. I go marching in there. I was so confident at that point. I said, I decided I wanted to sit in the front row or sit really close. So I thought, well, I'm only one person, so maybe they can sneak me in, So I walk in, I say to this lady, oh, is there any room for one person right up front? And she goes, oh, as a matter of fact, there is. So she starts walking me down the aisle, and this was like chairs all seated on the ground. There was no stage or anything. And I noticed that it was totally packed, and I thought, where is she taking me? And all of a sudden I look up, and all the seats were like this way. And along the wall, there were these 4 or 5 seats. Nobody had sat in them because it looked like it was part of the crew or the show or whatever. And nobody sat there. And so she goes, oh, here you go. You can sit right here. And I'm like, oh, the chairs were waiting for me. I mean, how cool is that? So I was so close to Joe Dispenza. I could have reached out and touched him because he kept walking back and forth right over by where I was and across. It was just awesome. And he, you know how he is. He is just amazing to listen to. You're just hanging on every word. Well, I noticed that he bolted out of there when he was done because, everybody wants to talk to him. Everybody wants to hang out with him. And I was like, how's this going to work? Okay, so next phase 2 was going into the big auditorium to see the showing, the debut of the movie Heal. So I got a good seat. I got in there. I'm still imagining I'm going to get my picture taken with him. I'm going to ask him a question. So the movie went on, and then afterwards there was a panel, and he and some other people were on this panel. Well, each of them were taking turns answering questions. So when it got to Dr. Joe Dispenza, I raised my hand. I have a question. So they brought the mic over to me, and guess what? I was one of only 2 people that were able to ask Dr. Joe Dispenza a question. And I was like, another thing checked off the list. It happened. Okay, so now the movie's over, the panel's over, and I walk up towards the stage, and here's Dr. Joe, and he's with all the VIPs, like the executive producer, the producer of the movie, some of the people that started it, and he's on the stage with these people, and I was like, Dr. Joe, and he goes, yeah, hold on a second. And I was like, yes. So there was a guy standing next to me that wanted to talk to him too, but not many people, because the stage was like almost to my chest, how high the stage was. So it was kind of a barrier, and most people were just leaving and going on with their evening. And so when he gets done, it was so classic and so cute. I will never forget this as long as I live. He looks over at me from quite a distance, and he goes, so you, because I think I mentioned I wanted to get my picture with him, and he goes, oh, so you want me to walk all the way over to the edge of the stage, squat down so that I can, you can get a picture with me. And I was like, yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I want. How could he say no to such an adoring fan? But I just thought it was so cute because he was like, oh, this is what you want, right? See, you have to know what you want in order to get it. That is key, people. Know what you want. So I'd already lined out the other guy to take our picture. So here we are. Okay, wait, I got to get the picture up here, right? Here we are, Dr. Jonas. See how he squatted down on the stage? He was so nice about it. So then, of course, we didn't just get a picture taken. And this was the other thing. I wanted to have a conversation. So it was really just me and this other guy. And so I started saying, oh, I followed you ever since 2005. What the bleep do we know? But I've never gone to one of your live events and I would love to. And he said, you have to go to the live event. He said, it will rock your world. And I'm like, oh, wow. Well, I just missed his San Diego event because I decided to stay and work on my book and then go to this film festival. It was the weekend before. Well, he didn't say anything and I didn't say anything either. But so I said, oh, okay, I'm gonna really focus on going to one of your events. And thank you so much for being who you are and letting me get a picture. And I just adore you. So it was a very special moment. Well, guess what happened? As I was leaving, I ran into my friend, Leah Denmark Starlight, who I had met in Staples. It was a total quantum entanglement moment where we just were meant to meet each other. And so we started chatting, and it turns out she presents with Dr. Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden occasionally. And so before this event, I contacted her. I said, well, would you maybe be able to help me meet Dr. Joe? And she says, oh, no, I can't arrange that. Well, I just did it myself with my Rise to Success formula. And so I was so excited because I pulled up my phone and I'm like, here's our picture. I just got my picture taken. And I said, oh, we talked about his live event and how he's like, you have to go. And she goes, Patrice, there's one in Vegas this coming weekend. Well, as fate would have it, I was moving from Sedona to Sacramento, and I was planning to go through Vegas and then up the back way to Sacramento, and it was like on my way. So, of course, I signed up for the event, and I had a wonderful, wonderful time and learned so much. Anyway, I believe that there were probably many other people that were at that Sedona festival, Illuminate Film Festival, that were watching that movie that would have loved to have met Dr. Joe and had their picture taken with him. But they did not do the work. He always talks about you got to do the work. You got to do the visualizations. You got to do the meditation. You have to put out into the quantum realm what it is that you really want. And even though it only took 4 days, I had done that very intently, very powerfully, in a very focused way, using my Rise to Success journal, daily journal. And I can teach you how to do that as well. I have other videos here where I do it for free. And then let me know if you want the free worksheet that I can post for you to be able to go through a Rise to Success process yourself and manifest the things that you want. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It's one of my favorite stories. I wrote about it in my book. It just made me so happy to know that this stuff works. And I get to teach people about it and help people to reach their goals and dreams too. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Patrice Lynn. I look forward to our next time. Bye.